I don't think most people truly understand how powerful softwood can be. Pine, spruce, fir, these woods are treated today as disposable materials, rushed from forest to frame and expected to fail. Before we go any further, make sure you're subscribed and sharing this channel, because what follows isn't trivia. It's knowledge that once built, structures meant to last longer than their builders. Modern construction teaches us that softwood is weak, temporary, fit only for short-lived buildings. Yet, across northern Europe, softwood structures have survived for centuries. Stave churches still stand against wind and snow. Farmhouses remain square after hundreds of winters. Barns resist rot long after modern treated lumber collapses. These buildings were not lucky accidents. They were the result of a method we abandoned. The secret was never the tree species. It was how the wood was chosen, prepared, and protected. Ancient builders didn't fight nature with chemicals. They worked with it through patience, timing, and restraint. What they created was softwood that behaved more like stone than timber. The process began with winter harvesting, when decay was starved before it could begin. Ancient builders waited for deep winter to fell trees. During dormancy, sap levels drop and sugars retreat into the roots. That mattered because rot feeds on sugar. When trees are cut in summer, fungi and insects are handed a feast before construction even begins. Winter-cut wood denied them that advantage. Cold air also slowed the initial drying process. Logs, lost moisture gradually instead of violently, preventing splits and internal stress. Builders understood that time was part of the material, and today this lesson is still applicable. Harvesting softwood during dormancy, even for small projects, dramatically increases resistance to decay without adding a single chemical. After felling, logs were deliberately soaked to remove what rot depends on. Once cut, timber wasn't rushed to the build site. Instead, it was submerged in rivers, lakes or ponds, sometimes for months or even longer. This soaking process leached out remaining sugars and starches, leaving the wood nutritionally useless to insects and fungi. Cold water slowed decomposition while equalizing moisture throughout the log. This wasn't preservation through poison. It was preservation through subtraction. Remove what attracts decay, and decay has nothing to work with. Today, smaller-scale soaking can still be used for posts, beams, or outdoor structures, especially when long-term durability matters more than speed. True strength was built during years of air drying, not weeks of forced heat. After soaking, timber was stacked carefully and left to dry at nature's pace. Air flowed freely between boards. Sun and wind did the work slowly. Years passed, sometimes decades. This gentle seasoning preserved elasticity and prevented warping or cracking. Kiln drying produces fast results, but brittle wood. Ancient air-dried timber retained flexibility, allowing buildings to move with seasonal changes instead of breaking apart. Anyone willing to stack wood off the ground, protect it from rain, and wait will still see the difference today. Fire was used as a tool of preservation, not destruction. Once seasoned, builders applied fire to the wood surface. Charring created a carbon layer insects could not digest and moisture struggled to penetrate. This layer also slowed ignition during fires, protecting the wood beneath. Unlike paint or sealants, char never peeled. It became part of the wood itself, you know. This technique remains effective for siding, fencing and ground contact structures. Really, all you need is a controlled flame, a bit of brushing, and, well, patience. Protection continued with pine tar, linseed oil and beeswax. Pine tar, made from slow-burning pine roots, penetrated deeply, especially when warmed. Mixed with linseed oil, it created a flexible, breathable barrier that repelled water while allowing vapour to escape. Modern coatings trap moisture and accelerate hidden rot. These finishes aged gracefully and were easily renewed. Applying thin, warm coats today still outperforms synthetic sealants over long periods. Buildings were designed to protect wood before wood was ever asked to protect buildings. Even perfect timber, you know, fails if water manages to reach it. Ancient architecture found ways to prevent that. Steep roofs would shed snow quickly. Wide overhangs kept the walls dry. Structures always sat on stone, never directly on soil. Air was allowed to circulate beneath the floors. Joints were crafted to shed water, not trap it. Most modern wood failures, well, they aren't really material failures at all. They're design failures. Elevate wood, ventilate it, and respect gravity, and honestly, durability follows naturally. The survival of northern softwood structures isn't mysterious, it's actually methodical. Winter harvest, water soaking, slow drying, fire hardening, natural oils, dry design. Altogether, these steps turned fast-growing softwood into something, well, something approaching stone. This wasn't primitive building. No, it was disciplined building. If you value forgotten systems that actually worked, go ahead and subscribe. And share this with someone who still believes softwood is weak. The past solve problems we're struggling to remember. We only have to listen.